It's time for the Ravagers to rise once again to glory!
You are listening to The Ravager Report, a Fox Next Marvel Strike Force podcast dedicated to bringing you the latest news, information, and updates. With your hosts, Dorian.
It is a name what strikes fear into the hearts of anyone what hears it!
And Hebrew Hammer.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all!
Hello, and welcome to episode 28 of The Ravager Report. I am your host, Dorian, and with me, as always, is the grumpy Hebrew Hammer. Hebrew, how you doing tonight?
I'm grumpy.
I know. You were like, this is going to be a short episode tonight. I'm like, yeah okay, man.
I'm in one of those moods where it's just like, I mean, I have a bit of a headache, which, you know my situation with headaches. But so I have a bit of a headache, and I'm super tired for some reason. I've just not gotten good sleep recently. So yeah, not in a great mood. So you got grumpy Hebrew with you today.
Oh, good. This should be entertaining for the studio audience, then, at least.
Yeah, let's not talk about S.H.I.E.L.D. in the context of Dark Dimension this time.
Yeah, because I didn't. You did.
Yeah, okay.
But, hey, guys, welcome. Before we get into that, though, tonight, I did want to say and welcome, we got a new patron this week. So, Michael, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. Your patronage is going to help us continue to bring you the quality content that we bring every week. How do I know it's quality content? Because my mom said so. If you like Michael, enjoy what you hear, and would like to help support the show, you can do so at patreon.com/Ravager Report, where we have subscriptions going from $2 per month all the way up to $20 per month at the $5 and $10 levels. So $2 gets you kind of a shout out on the podcast and get you access to our patron Discord. $5 gets you early show note access and early show access. $10 and up gets you special access to the hosts and start getting you like roster reviews. Also, if you'd like to join our active and interactive community, you can do so at Patreon. I was going to give you the Patreon again. You can do that at discord.me/Ravager Report. And that'll bring you into our Discord server, where you can come chat with us. So, hey, before we get into the show, why don't you let everybody know what you've done this past week?
So this past week, nothing special. I'm pretty boring. I feel like overall, I'm fairly boring. But I do have Shazam that I'm going to go see tomorrow, which I'm super excited about.
Nice.
So yeah, we're going to do that, and just class, dealing with everything like that. My girlfriend, I just got into Notre Dame for law today, and we found out, which is pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome! Congrats to her. Yeah,
she's not going because it's too far away, but she's going to another very good college, but it's very local over here, so it's going to be much better. But it was cool to see that, and yeah, I mean, that's all the big news. Everything else was just pretty generic week. What about you?
So I've had kind of a big week. So first, I know everybody is curious for the rose update. So we had some frost this week. But thankfully we got some bags over top. The roses looks like they're going to survive. They're going well. Had a little bit of
the weekly update on the roses.
That's what I said. Everybody was dying for that one. So I figured I'd get out of the way early. Had a little bit of wilt going on, but they've got some good water. And my grass is growing, so that's good. I planted some grass, and that's finally starting to take root. So that's a good thing. In game, I've actually been kind of reinvigorated into the game, this past week because, I dropped like $30 on the game because I bought Sabretooth. And I got Magneto, because I really wanted to get Magneto. He's absolutely amazing. Even outside of a Brotherhood team, he's really, really good. So, I wanted to get him because I've had 4 red stars on him since red stars dropped. That was definitely something I had to do. So, I got him. Now I've kind of shifted focus. I'm not as focused on my shield team, and I'm kind of working more on the Brotherhood. So
Right.
that's where I've kind of been pumping resources in. I took extreme advantage of the 50 core refresh, and I went all in day one and got all 24 refreshes.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so basically I've spent like 1,400 cores in the past 2 days on refreshes.
Yeah, I feel you. I all of the cores that I had saved up, I had just spent like with a snap of the finger. I Thanos my cores.
Yeah, that drop, man. I'm just like refresh. Thankfully, I hadn't refreshed that day yet. Maybe I had, but I only do the 50 core refreshes anyway, so it didn't hurt me to do it earlier in the day.
Yeah.
What else happened? Oh, yeah. So we are 2-1 in Alliance Wars, and the really cool thing was our last Alliance War. The Shattered Order Unlimited Alliance got put up against another Unlimited Alliance, the Avengers Unlimited, and it was kind of a close fight. But the Shattered Order Alliance won, and so we actually it was kind of cool to have cluster v cluster. So
right, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, there was some good smack talk going on. I enjoyed one because they went after me. And they cleared me out, right? Because I mean, nothing really holds on defense unless you're super high powered. But they kind of came in with some really overpowered teams, and I was like, yeah, man, I love seeing you guys overspend and overpower, like send in a 160k team against my 110k aim team.
Oh god,
And,
I wonder how many chuckles you got, but whenever people saw that.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. I'm like, they really went 160k versus 110k aim. Thank you.
Yeah. There is like that. I mean, we'll talk about it, but like there is that kind of weird spot in the power level where like you brought heavy teams to take care of stuff, and then you brought some low teams to take care of the shield, and then everything that kind of falls in between. You're like, shit. Like,
what do I do?
I'm just gonna have to take something from like the highest of the, from the lowest of the high characters that I brought in.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's kind of a weird territory there.
Yeah. So I had posted in our Alliance common room, and I was like, man, thanks for overpowering. I love seeing that. And they're like, only 2 of those were overpowered. And I was like, are you sure? The guy comes back and goes, oh, yeah, no, it was all those fights. And I'm like, thank you very much. I like seeing that. So, yeah, we had a good strategy going that one. We got down, found like the armory and the med bay really quick. So, we were able to kind of hamper them really quickly. And that makes a big difference. The faster you can get down, drill down and find the rooms. I mean, you need people on like when the war starts. So,
yep.
And that's something we're going to talk about today, because today's going to be our first in Alliance War strategies. So, we're going to discuss some Alliance War strategies later. But that pretty much has been my week, short of, the whole working from home thing, which is fun.
Yeah, so are you still not liking that, or have you learned to like it?
It's okay. I just throw on the TV and work. So,
yeah, see, that'd be great.
I'm in season 7 of Stargate SG-1 now, so season 8.
I've never seen Stargate.
Oh my goodness, man! That you need to do yourself a favor. Watch the movie, okay? And then if you have Amazon Prime, SG-1 is available on Amazon Prime. If you have Hulu, all 3 are available on Hulu. SG-1, Atlantis, and Stargate Universe, SGU. So, I highly recommend it. They're absolutely awesome shows. I love them. Richard Dean Anderson is great in that series. You know who that is, right?
I might have to. Yeah, okay. But I think I might have to give that show a try. I've been looking for something to watch. I'm kind of honestly about to watch Sabrina the Teenage Witch Part 2.
The Netflix version.
Yep, I don't care what the haters say. I like it. So yeah, that just came out like yesterday, I think. So I'm about to binge that.
Nice. I tried to watch that. I think I got into the second episode and I was just like, Nah, I'm not. Nah, I'm not picking up what they're dropping down. I'm out. So
Yeah, that's fair. Also, a really funny show that I actually just want to like plug because it's just so hilarious. Almost cursed. How dare I? Hot Date. If anyone looks up on Netflix, Hot Date. It's absolutely hilarious. It's like a sketch comedy show with these two people from College Humor, and they're hysterical. And it's really funny. I think it might take a particular type of comedy for some people, but it's a really good show. I really recommend it.
Let's get into this week. 'Cause I know your head's hurting you, so I don't want to keep you up too much, man.
It's all good. I mean, I got some time on me. I want to do a good show, but it's I want to I always show up. But yeah, I do have a little bit of a headache on me.
Oh, was that a little bit of a slam?
No, actually,
Really?
it wasn't
Really?
intended as a slam. But now
I always show up. Jackass.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and apply it to a slam. But that really wasn't the original intention.
So, let's get into the Datamine. So there was some new Datamine that dropped this week. First, the Tangled Web. We're going to get 2 times Spider-Verse shards and Commander for 24 hours. Yay. The number of Spider-Verse shards rewarded for completing campaign will double from 2 to 4. You can get these extra shards from the following campaign mission, Nexus 5-6, Green Goblin. Good luck, Commander, because that's the only one you can farm. And, sadly, 2 times 0, still 0. Let's see. Okoye has arrived. The warrior Wakanda. My mouth. The warrior of Wakanda. Commander, cut down enemy defenses with Okoye. Enemy speed bar, assassin, controller for Wakanda. The new top tier raid team. 100% Wakanda assist when charged. Immunity on defense up. Okoye will be available in the Dora Milaje Blitz starting on April 18th, 5 p.m. But you can recruit her early by purchasing the Dora Milaje orb or via her offer in the store. Don't miss out. She will be featured in the Red Star and Elite Red Star orbs with 4 times the drop rate from now until April 18th. Lucky us. Spearhead the Wakandan raid team with Okoye. Progress update for the Dark Dimension rework. Commander, Enter the Darkness has been updated due to changes to the difficulty and technical restrictions. The progress in your current node has been reset. Here are resources to thank you for understanding. That's weird. We are all supposed to get resources because they were updating them. That sounds like they're doing some resets and stuff. Huh.
I don't know. I think it was pretty strange wording.
Well, this is a progress update for Dark Dimension rework. So I guess when they rework the Dark Dimension, because, they're going to move the goalposts on it.
No, I think that they're making it easier. I think that's what
they were going to make it. They were going to make it much more difficult by restricting you to like T10, T9 or T10 characters in 6-star.
Right. They decided not to do that.
But they're resetting progress and doing but it says due to changes to the difficulty and technical restrictions, the progress in your current node has been reset. So I think they're going to be resetting. Like if you have not finished the node when this update drops, sounds like you're going to be reset back to the beginning of that node.
Maybe I'm not sure, but I think that what they're referring to is that they're reworking 1 through 3 to make it easier because of the Kree specifically. And then that was delayed. It was that part was delayed, the rework of those and the rewards for completion. And then they were going to put on the gate for the tier level, but they decided not to. They mentioned that, I think, in the last update, that they decided not to due to people saying, no, screw that.
Yeah. It's a data mine, man. Who knows? So.
Yeah.
And they treat us like mushrooms. So, you're welcome for everyone who gets that reference. Let's see. Coming soon, Shuri. Recruit the Princess of Wakanda.
Shuri.
Oh.
Sticking to it.
Anger rising. Assemble your top 5 Spider-Verse members to recruit Shuri in this event. Unlock the true potential of Wakanda. Legendary support. The new top tier raid team. Fuel Wakanda with defense up, ability, energy, and charge. Revitalize with powerful heals. Special events to aid your recruitment efforts. Spider-Verse shards. Log in each day before the start to receive a bundle of character shards. It's on the house. Character shard offers will be available in the days leading up to the event. The Spider-Verse orb, a limited time orb, will be available during the event. Each orb has a chance of dropping Spider-Verse character shards, including Spider-Man, Miles, Venom, Carnage, and Green Goblin. Don't miss this opportunity to strengthen your roster. Event requirements is 5 Spider-Verse. Star rank requirements increase by 1 with each tier. It's supposed to start April 25th and end April 30th. So you've got 25 days.
Yep.
To get 5-star Carnage and 5-star Green Goblin.
Achievable.
Right? Yeah. I don't know about Carnage.
Definitely being facetious.
I mean, Carnage is going to be. Carnage might have to be purchased. And look, okay. So, quick sidebar. I have zero problem with that. The first time a legendary drops, I'm okay with having to spend cores to refresh, or I don't like the fact that you have to do Alliance War to get Carnage, and that makes it a little bit more difficult. Because the number of Alliance War tickets you get are really kind of junky. But I have zero problem with, like Green Goblin just got a node. And if you didn't go hard after it, you need to do, core refreshes on the node, core refreshes for energy. You might have to drop a little bit of coin. That's good. That's fine for me. I have zero problem with that. I don't think Legendary should be free to play friendly the first time out.
I think that there should be enough time that you have a chance to do it if you've really leaned into it as a free to play player.
Right, but I'm saying
maybe not as a free to play player, but like definitely as a free to play player, but certainly as a very casual spender. I feel like you should. The amount of time that we had for the release to make some of these characters farmable, until the day whenever she comes out, I feel like just isn't quite enough. I would have liked, honestly, another month, and then I would have said that's fair. But
I think another month would have been you'd have seen 6 and 7 star Shuris running around.
That's what.
Yeah, but only the whales to the whale should have 7 stars. It's going to be.
Well, I mean, that's the difference is that, they are going to have 7 stars versus 5 stars, but we're going to see they're going to be after I played against M'Baku, Captain America, Killmonger, and Black Panther, and then someone else, I don't remember who. But my God, M'Baku, for real though, he was like a brick wall to go through. If he has someone giving him defense up, oh my God, it is so annoying. His block chance is ridiculous, and his health and defense is retarded. So I can only imagine whenever Shuri and Okoye are out, oh my God, it's going to blow my mind. I don't think that they're going to, I still stand by what I said. I don't think that they're going to beat S.H.I.E.L.D. just because S.H.I.E.L.D. mechanics are so strong, because time bar management or speed bar management is so strong. But I think that they'll definitely be at even with them or slightly below. But I think that they're going to be darn close. I think they're definitely going to be better than Defenders. But I don't think that they'll be as good in Arena or Blitz, though, as S.H.I.E.L.D. is. I think S.H.I.E.L.D.'s definitely going to win as the all-around team still. But for Raids, I think that they're going to be very, very, very good for Raids. That's for sure. So I'm a little jealous I'm not going to get it. But
yeah, I'd have to spend, because I don't even have Carnage unlocked yet. He's close. I would have to switch.
A lot of money.
I'm sorry?
I'd have to spend a lot of money too. So yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably looking at $100, $150.
Oh, I think it'd be way more than that. At least for me, it would be way more. But I have bad drops, so maybe that's it. But I think I would definitely need Venom's good. Spider-Man's good, obviously.
Miles
Green Goblin, good. I need a lot. Miles is pretty good. And then, Carnage is the problem child.
Yeah, Carnage is definitely the problem child. See, I'm only at 82 of 100 on him.
Mm-hmm.
But he unlocks at 4, so you only need to get 130 after that, which with some, probably like $70, you can get 100 of those.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like, maybe like $150 because I'm thinking, need a couple for Green Goblin and a couple for Carnage, I don't know. But then there's probably cores for refresh on Green Goblin.
Yeah, I suppose you could try to min-max it with, going to town with Green Goblin's refreshes as well. But yeah, I think you're probably going to end up spending like a bit more than that. But I could be wrong. I haven't worked out the math on it. This is pure speculation, and I don't feel like working out the math on it right now. So,
well, yeah, and it's also a bit different for everybody because you may have been farming Green Goblin since they announced it or whenever he dropped.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes a huge difference.
Yeah, but it's still, even with that, we haven't had a lot of time considering. I mean, he is farmable, that's good, but he's one node, and it's going to take a good while to do it, especially if you're not spending. I mean, we all have a lot to spend our cores on now, so you'd really have to focus him exclusively. And then Carnage, there's just like no way unless you buy pretty much. So yeah, it's a tough call, but I will say if you are a spender and you're on the fence, I would go for it.
Yeah,
honestly.
I think you should go for it. It's not going to be an arena team, but and then they're going to have the orb drop. So that's another thing too, especially if you're top tier in arena and you're getting those top tier cores. That's definitely worth it as well. To reinvest those cores back into getting the Spider-Verse for the Wakandan team.
Yeah, and remember, for anyone that has elite Red Star orbs, hold on to them until you get that double drop if you're going for the Wakanda team, because having the increased chances of a Wakanda team member dropping with an elite would be very nice. So
yeah, if you want to everybody like to get that 4-star.
Yeah, it's hard to hold on to elite Red Stars, but sometimes it's good.
It's hard to get elite Red Stars.
That is for sure.
My
I'm
God,
not denying that.
Man.
I mean, the second I get them, I'm like, oh my God, yes, and I roll it, and of course it's garbage, but
right. It's that instant of jubilation followed by weeks of rage.
Yeah, I did get a 5-star. This is my second 5-star now.
Nice.
First one's Pyro. Guess who it landed on? It's your favorite character.
Oh, Monstrosity.
Yeah, right. Your real favorite character. Your OG favorite character.
My OG favorite character. Daredevil?
No. Like how do you not know this? Luke Cage, dude.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he dropped 5 stars, and I'm like, oh man. I mean, it's still good because he's, I definitely have a high defenders team, and that was nice. But I wouldn't have minded if that landed on Daredevil or something like that instead.
I still have nothing on Daredevil and nothing on Punisher.
I have on Punisher, but yeah, Daredevil has eluded me. I think I have I think maybe I have 2 stars on him, but yeah, nothing great so far.
Yeah, I mean, I've got 4 stars on some really good characters.
Yeah.
But yeah, Daredevil and Punisher both have eluded me, and it makes me want to cry.
Yeah. If only we had some kind of way to force it to drop on a character.
Yeah, I know, right?
Or limit the pool of dropping on specific characters. That'd be crazy.
Yeah. Ugh. Man, I got a 4 Red Star Sabretooth and a 4 Red Star Magneto.
Man, your Brotherhood team looking good.
My Brotherhood team is looking good. I've been running, so I don't have like a 5th mutant to really run with him. I don't have Mystique, so I've been running Cable. Really? I got a 4 Red Star Cable.
4 red. I actually have the same thing. I think I have a 4 Red Star Cable as well. So yeah.
Yeah, he's around 25.5k power right now. I use him in Blitz, man. They're actually, even though their total power is only like 100 some K. And they do good work in 8-3.
Yeah. Yeah. He's good. You can see his potential, especially with in the raids and even Alt 6 and stuff like that. Like he's in there, and whenever he pops up, he can be a pain in the ass.
Oh yeah, I focus him pretty quick because there's one node where you get like two Black Widows drop, one Winter Soldier, and then 2 cables, right? So they're very fast out of the gate. And once you take one down, like 2 more Winter Soldiers and 2 more cables drop.
Yeah.
And it can honestly be a nightmare. So
yeah, I feel you.
My defender's kind of, I used to struggle with that one. I want to say, was that the quick buck node E6? It might be the quick buck node.
I think so. Yeah.
I can one shot that one now though. So I've been able to for a while with the defenders, but
Alt 6 is pretty cake now.
Yeah, it really is. Well, that was some good derailing.
Good stuff.
Next we've got, and then our final thing is the first responder orb. Went up to 180 night nurse shards, first responder orb fragments. Collect the orb fragments to earn a first responder orb. Night nurse? Really?
Yeah.
I mean, she's a good healer, but there are better healers in the game right now. I mean, she was the healer, and she still is kind of the. Well, I think Shield Medic may be better early heals now than Night Nurse, but man, Night Nurse really? Yeah, okay, I guess.
Yeah, weird decision, but yeah, I mean, Night Nurse is. I regret bringing her up to what I did because now she's obsolete.
But you needed her for Alt 5 back in the day.
Oh, for sure. I mean, she had her day. She was in the spotlight for a long time, but yeah, it's just now it's not worth it.
No, definitely not. I would encourage anybody that's doing it to focus Shield Medic because she can heal and has a chance to revive, or Minerva. So if you can get Minerva, that's the way to go.
Yeah. Most definitely.
So that is the Datamine for the actually I think that just dropped today, April 5th. But remember that Datamines are subject to change. They are not 100% coming. So don't plan your game around them and take them with a grain of salt.
Yep.
So now we're going to move on to everybody's newest favorite segment, and that is the listener poll. So this week we did our episode 28 listener poll. It was pretty Alliance War heavy. So let's jump right into this. So first question was, with the release of Alliance Wars, what is your favorite game mode? So Alliance War, Arena, Blitz, campaigns, Dark Dimension, events, raids, none, or other. Heber, where were you at on this?
I would probably say, raids or arena. I mean, I'm like tied, I suppose. I couldn't really pick one over the other. Raids I like. Arena I like because it's it's nice and quick. I get in, I get out, I do it 5 times a day if I want, and that's it. Raids are they're fun because it's you get to try out more teams and everything, and it gets to be kind of cool, but it's just not challenging anymore,
Right.
So I am looking forward to the old 7 to come out because I would like that, as well as the increased rewards. So
we hope increased rewards. We could wind up getting the same thing we get for Alt 6. Who knows?
I would not be surprised at all if whenever it releases, it's like the same amount or worse for 30%. But I assume that they will fix it again.
Right. They'll fix it quick.
Decent. Yeah.
So we had a total of 97 responders. Thank you for everybody that did respond. It has now been locked, so it is no longer accepting responses. But I actually put I'm with you, raids. It's probably my favorite mode. I'm not with you. You didn't say raids. Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did. I said raids and
arena. But I am enjoying Alliance War. But that's because I enjoy territory wars and Galaxy of Heroes. I like the strategizing. I like the chess match process. There are some things that Fox Next did really, really, really good with Alliance War that I really enjoy. And we'll get into a lot of that later. So, but 29 people agreed with us on raids. Alliance War came in second with 26 people. Events, so the campaign events, came in third at 17 with 17 people. And then we had None, Arena, and Blitz all with 6 people. Campaigns with 5, and Dark Dimension with 2. And that's probably our 2 trollers.
Yep.
Whenever I see 2, I'm like, yep, those are the trollers. So our next question was, are you happy with Alliance Wars? And so, Hebrew, I know your answer, but let's let the world know. Are you happy with Alliance Wars?
No, I'm not. I will say one thing. I think that it is an interesting system, but I think that my biggest problem is the rewards method, and I should say, so the rewards, the point system, particularly the related to the TCP, the extra points for the TCP, and the matchmaking in general. It gets really, really difficult the higher you are on the ranks of Strongest Alliance, because there becomes bigger gaps, and it is very frustrating to play against characters and people that are just, you have no shot against, and it's really just luck of the draw. Like, you can pretty much look right off the bat and say, there's no way I'm going to win this, or I'm going to crush this.
Yeah,
so that's been my experience, at least, and I know I've had shared sentiments from other people as well. So
yeah, well, 34 of our responders agreed with you. So 35.1% said no. Now a large chunk agreed, or agreed with me, because I said yes, and right. So that was 63 people at 64.9%. I think that Alliance War obviously has some issues. In fact, I've broken, and I went back and started talking to Fox Next again today. Sorry.
Oh God.
And I was sharing some of my concerns, and concerns I've been hearing from the community, which is a lot of what you've been saying. As Alliance, like I said, Alliance Wars is not without its issues, but I think that overall they've done a good thing here, and I think that this is something that, if they treat it right, can be very popular into the game going forward, because people love their PvP. So, real-time PvP is always fun.
Yeah, it's exponentially more frustrating the higher you get up. So I feel like a lot of people will not understand the struggle of the top, and I'm not even at the part where it's very bad.
And I've heard that.
You go up a bit higher than me, and it's even worse.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've heard that, but my alliance is sitting. Like around 3, we were at 304 when we had our last fight, against our, sister alliance, who was in the 340s. And our fights have felt very, fair.
Right.
I think we had one where we really got crushed, but I wonder if we just didn't strategize enough for that. So it, I don't know. Maybe there is a tale of two Alliance Wars. I don't know. Right. I can't speak to that frustration.
Yeah, I mean, I think how they manage it is off of TCP, and TCP isn't a super reliable stat because it's not, your power can be distributed in several different ways. It could be up or it could be, across. So I don't think it's a particularly good method to do it, but then again, I'm not sure what other method they would use, so it's hard to say. But either way, it's just at the top there really is a problem, and I'm not sure how they fix it. But the current system that they have in place with taking percentage of the TCP and converting it to the points makes a very obvious rich get richer scheme going on, and it's really frustrating. So whenever it comes to the leaderboards and everything for seasons. So yeah, we're very close to a top 100 alliance, and so we're experiencing more. But yeah, the people above us, even that I speak to, are like, they absolutely despise it.
Yeah, I guess. Like I said, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm saying. Like, it's really hard for people that aren't there and haven't experienced it to see it.
I can believe that.
Yeah.
So our next question was, do you like the way Fox Next allows to boost defensive teams? Yes or no?
No. I think
I'm kind of with you. I'm
really
with you on that one. I don't like it. And again, it's going to be part of the strategy discussion later.
Yeah.
38 people agreed with us, for 39.2%, and 59 said yes. So,
yeah.
I would probably be happier with it if it was a fire and forget and it wasn't something you could just keep doing. Like right after a fight, you can reboost a team. That to me just, but then again, like I said, real-time PvP, people love it. So.
Yeah, that's a part that I just don't like because it requires more engagement, especially at the beginning, and it requires you to be like on even longer at specific times, and it's annoying to have to do that because that's a super big advantage, especially at the the early game, to sit there and start spamming the defense ups, or I'm sorry, the defense boosts. So that can get really frustrating really quick.
So do me a favor, as I keep reading through these, I want to do a weekly time check on your game time. So go find your time.
Okay.
I've got mine opened up here, and we'll compare that here towards the end of the poll. So do you like the way Fox Next does energy for Alliance Wars? Yes or no?
Yes, actually, I think I do. I think that it can get frustrating once again whenever people buy. But I just like the fact that it's much more limiting on how many times I can hit, so I feel like I don't have to get on as much. You know what I mean?
See, I feel like I got to get on more. So I disagree. I do not like energy for real-time PvP. Just let me go in and do my fights. Let me do them when I want to do them.
I mean, I would rather do them all at once. Don't get me wrong, but I know that will never happen for them.
Right. No, because it's all about.
I just like that the recharge is slower. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say it's all about we can show that people are logging in and engaging at different times. Mm-hmm. That's what it's all. It's all about that. Don't let anybody fool you. Exactly. Don't let anybody lie to you. It's all about metrics. It's all about the metrics because they don't care about what the voices say. They only care about what the silence says.
So I think, and that's why it's I know that they're never going to do that. So, but I do like the fact that I feel personally, and I'll have to revisit this thought later on. I have to give it some time, but personally, I feel like I'm not constantly having to check and get on. Like, I feel like I can take my time in doing it. But the more competitive that we are, like if I know I have it in the bag, then I'm not too worried. Like the war, I mean. But ones where I am not so sure, or I'm pretty positive that we're going to get crushed, I do find myself getting on more often. So, I don't know. It kind of depends.
Yeah. So that was a yes for you and a no for me. More people agreed with you. So 57 people for 58.8% agreed with you, and 40 people for 41.2% agreed with me.
Pretty close.
Yeah, it was a pretty close split. So, hold on. What is there? Did I skip one? No. Okay. I should have put this next, but I did. Okay, hold on. So would you prefer an unlimited attack option? Yes or no? So would you like to be able to just go in and attack with everybody on your team until your team is depleted? Your roster's gone.
Oh, okay. Till I still have the barrier of the roster. Then in that situation I would, because then I can just do it all at once.
Yeah, and I probably could have worded this one better because I wasn't implying like you can take your shield team in and then take them in again and then take them in again. I was saying this was more to imply you can still only use teams once, but you can use everybody on your roster and not be limited to 8 attacks, 12 if you buy the extra energy.
Yeah, I would rather that because then I can have it purely on my time. And so I would prefer that for sure.
Yeah, I agree. 71 people said no, for 73.2%, but I wonder if that's not because of the
The
poor
wording.
wording.
Yeah.
And real quick sidebar, everybody that's reached out and offered to help with the polls, greatly appreciate it. We may reach out to you guys at some point. I don't know. Hubert and I haven't had a chance to really discuss it yet. Life's just really, 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 really busy. So,
Yeah.
but 26 people said yes, they would prefer an unlimited attack option for 26.8%. Let's see. So the next one is, I know where you lie on this one. Do you like Alliance War matchmaking? Yes or no?
No.
Okay. So 56 people agreed with you. I don't really have an opinion either way right now. Because our matchmaking's been good. So, without, until I kind of understand better the algorithm, I don't really have an opinion either way. My experience so far has been, yes, I like the matchmaking. It's been pretty fair. So, but 56 people agreed with you for 57.7%, and 41 people agreed with me for 42.3%.
Yeah.
So I made a mistake on the next one. I had this like other option that people could type in answers. And it was supposed to just be other. But the question was, how can Fox Next make matchmaking more accurate? So it's fine the way it is. Within a percentage of total alliance CP or average member CP or other, we're supposed to be the 3 available options. So of those 3 options, what would you prefer?
What was the second one again?
So it's fine the way it is, or within a percentage of total alliance CP or average member CP or other. Do you have another way you would like to see them do matchmaking?
I don't think we know exactly what method they use currently. Unless someone knows and I just have missed it somehow, but I'm fairly positive that we don't. But I think it's from TCP.
I think I've heard rumblings through the grapevine that it's kind of an ELO, that matchmaking is going to get, that it may start off being more CP related, but as alliances win and lose more, you get this kind of, they're doing an ELO. Do you know what ELO is?
Yeah.
Okay.
They have that in the poll. So yeah.
Oh, okay. So it'll be more ELO. Where you're going to be matched more with your wins and losses. So you should start to get into an area where you are facing comparable performing teams or alliances.
Yeah, that would make a little more sense. Or I should say, if that is the case, it will get better as time goes on. If LoL has taught me anything, it is that. So. At the beginning, you're going to be kind of matched wildly below and above, and then it'll kind of zoom in on the scope of your abilities from there.
Now,
so,
if what I've heard is true,
that is if that's true. I still think it's based off of TCP, but I would prefer it to be your method. But that being said, I feel like I'm not really sure how to fix the problem, but I'm just going to go ahead and say other.
Okay.
Just because I feel like there's a better solution out there, but I'm not creative enough to think of it.
Okay. So I went with within a percentage of total alliance CP or average member CP. I think that's going to be, and it's not a true measure because, you could go up against alliance that put a lot of focus into the wrong team's aim.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of quote unquote empty CP, that's going to struggle setting enough defenses or being able to attack. So this one's a little sketchy. But it's I believe probably a better, truer method until they start, working out these ELO rankings.
Right.
So 57 people agreed with the percentage. 19 people said other, and 16 people said it's fine the way it is. So those of you keeping score at home, that is not 97 because some people wrote in different options because I unfortunately had that open. So I'll read those out for transparency and completion's sake. One person said, consider active members. This one kind of made me chuckle because I'm not sure exactly what you mean by active members. Here's one: use ELO ratings to determine not only CP but effectiveness of individual players in the alliance. I don't think I would go ELO ratings on the individual members, but rather on the alliance as a whole would be fine. One person said math. Thank you. I appreciated that one. Another one, certain checks like the number of Fury and Bounty Hunter, whoops, Brotherhood unlock and at what level tiers, as they are too powerful for some to beat.
That's very micro, but that's
really micro. But
Shield is such a pain.
Yeah.
In this mode though, so I
feel Fury's been back 3 times. I mean,
Fury's been, but
3 or 4
just
times.
The fact of taking him out though in the game mode is so difficult, especially ones that you encounter early whenever they have the buffs and you can't get rid of them, or you have a lot to go through until you get rid of him. It's overpowering for them to start off with all those buffs. I mean, you can't even, the resistance is already very high because they always start with the defense up,
right? And
it makes them almost impossible to get through, especially for the higher ones, like in our kind of top 100-ish area. It's ridiculous the CPs that you see on them. So yeah. That team is particularly ultra broken in this game mode.
But I wouldn't want to see it. This alliance has 24 Furies. That alliance has 8 Furies. We're not going to match them.
Yeah,
because
it's just not realistic, and it shouldn't be based on a particular thing. But that's just something that I feel like they need to address, like a reason why they need to rebalance Shield alone, right there.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, we'll have to see. But I appreciate that this person was trying to think outside the box. That's good stuff. And then one person said, Galaxy of Heroes, total CP reward brackets. So our next question was, do you feel the rewards for a win are adequate? Yes or no?
For a win, I mean, I would still want more, but yeah, I guess they're not too bad.
Okay. I agree with it. I felt that the rewards for a win, if you look at the total number of things you can wind up getting over a week period, if you save all your tickets for wins, it's not great. I think Assassin did some
surprise, Assassin did math.
Right, Assassin did math. For those of you that are new listeners, Assassin, one of our longest patrons, love that you're still here, buddy.
Assassin's my boy.
Does some math. So basically, he said, now this, I have not verified this math. Okay. Very rarely have I known him to be wrong though. So
I'm sure Assassin's scoffing right now.
Verify
my math.
Let's see. You get 1 orange unique per week with Gamma 4 raids if you 100% them, versus 4.5 per week from always winning Alliance Wars, which isn't possible because except LOC. Okay. Versus 7 per week from maxing out 50 core store refreshes in main store, versus 12 per week in Alliance Wars store, if I got my rates right. So, it looks like you can get, roughly 4, orbs from Alliance War wins. You can, if you save all your Alliance War tickets, you can get roughly 12 per week from the Alliance War. You can do 7 per week from maxing out the store refreshes. So, sure, it's, Legion of Cabal. 3 uniques per orb. So you can, you can get some. I've not been saving my tickets for, Orange Gear because Pyro and Carnage. I want me those characters.
Yeah, I mean, I really need that unique Orange Gear, but, I have started to put them all towards Carnage now because I know I'm going to want that team. So.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, look, the Orange Unique gear is great if you want Ultron. Otherwise, it's a heavy investment.
But Ultron is a monster.
Ultron is a monster. I'm not saying you shouldn't go for Ultron.
God.
It's a heavy investment.
Yeah.
Be prepared for a
agree.
heavy investment.
Yeah, 100%.
But
yeah, he's just. I've seen him in Alliance War now, and not on our team. Like no one that we went up against had them, but someone I was talking to had seen it, and they showed me it, and he said it was literally undefeatable.
Yeah, I've heard the same thing. I've got stories about Ultron, but I won't share them.
Yeah, so it's crazy.
So here's the next question. Do you feel the rewards for a loss are adequate? Yes or no?
I don't think so. I'm sorry, I was yawning, but yeah, I don't think so. But it's a tough thing. How much do you get again?
500 tickets?
Yeah, I think
a little bit of gold, some 500 tickets.
Yeah, I think that it should be more tickets because, especially with Orange Unique gear, that's going to be our main place to get it. And the system that they have in place right now, it's first of all not very good matchmaking wise, as we said, or at least from the way I feel about it. And that being like our Orange Uniques being gated behind that for the most part is very annoying and frustrating whenever you can so easily get a lose and it be totally out of your hands. So yeah, not too much of a fan of that.
Yeah, I agree. I think that they could have made it a little better because with the way it works now, let's say you get 3 losses in a week, right? Well, that's enough for one character for 5 character shards, basically.
Yeah.
Right. That's really nothing for a week of effort. 3 fights.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, we're gonna get into a little bit of that later, but I'm already starting to hear a lot of grumbling about the number of fights we're getting per week and the amount of time it's requiring from people. So I agree with you. No, on that one. 86 people for 88.7% agreed with us. 11 people said yes.
Yeah.
Those all 11 of those are Legion of Cabal listeners. Pants of Hawk. It's our Pants of Hawk listeners. So the next few questions here, I did something a little bit different. I made them multiple choice where people could select multiple options. Unfortunately, the graph doesn't quite break out the way I had hoped it would. So out of 97 responses, so I asked basically, how could they improve the rewards for a win? So the options were more gold, more war tickets, more elite war tickets, or they're fine the way they are. I had hoped it would give me a combination of, X number of people selected these 2 or these 3 or these 4 options, right? And I could take these numbers and throw them into Excel. I haven't done that yet to determine that kind of on my own, but out of our respondents, 68% of respondents wanted more gold. 58.8 wanted more war tickets. 56.7 wanted more elite war tickets, and 14.4 said they're fine. So, multiple choice, 1 or more of these 4 options, right? So, more gold, and or more tickets, and or more elite tickets, or they're fine the way they are.
I'm going to say go with everything. I want more of all of it.
You want more of all of it? Okay.
Honestly, I do. And I don't think it would be absurd of them to do it. I think if we get a little more of all of it, then they don't have to boost up any particular one quite as much, But I think that we deserve all of it. I think it'd be nice to get more of all of it.
Yeah, I agree. It would be nice. I don't think it needs to be increased a whole lot, but I do think just a little bit more because as we are going to find out at the end of this poll, the time requirements are insane. And actually, that's going to be part of next week's poll. Now that people have had a chance to be in it for a couple of weeks, we're going to see what's the average amount of time people are spending in the game over a 1 week period. So everybody be tracking your data. Apple does it really handily. There are apps that can track it for Android. So I don't know why they took that out. They used to track it, but anyway. So how can they improve the rewards for a loss? Same options here, right? So more gold, more war tickets, more elite war tickets, or they're fine the way they are.
I'm going to go with same here.
Same, all of them. Yeah, I really think that the loss rewards need to be improved. In fact, I would almost like to see the win rewards currently doubled and the loss rewards come up to the current win rewards.
Yeah.
I think that would be a much more fair system because you are putting in so much time and effort on this.
Yeah.
So 73.2% said more gold, 72.2 said more war tickets, 49.5 said more elite war tickets, and 6 people said that they're fine the way they are. Now this next question, I got more responses from people outside, because I didn't have a chance to put in every possible strategy, nor allow, people to kind of type in their own strategy. So the question was, what is the best attacking strategy? So I went very basic, and very much on the, what's your initial plan of attack? If you had, what's your initial plan, right? What do you think is the best way to kind of go about it? So I said down the left unless you see an important room, down the middle unless you see an important room, down the right unless you see an important room, across then down, matchup dependent, find the bridge, unsure, or free for all until we find a good room. Okay? Mm-hmm. So what kind of pattern did your alliance use?
So far we've been doing down the middle until we spot if we spot a super important room on the way down. But I think that it can depend, right? Because I think that that's generally the prevailing strategy because it's the most obvious thing to do because if you go down the middle, you can more easily reveal everywhere. Right? But I think that lots of people counter that a little too obviously, and they stack the middle, and it's very apparent whenever they stack it. And I think in those situations, you can kind of circumvent that and potentially go down the sides if the sides look like they're really open. But at the same time, a smart team would make it look like the sides are open, and then at the end, you're probably going to catch a few heavier teams. Yeah. So it's really like, that's the thing, is that I feel like there's no super clear winner on a strategy, but I think generally, sorry, I'm going too much onto this. We're going to be getting into this later on. So, but yeah, down the middle. Yeah. Sorry. I already started going off on strategy stuff, but yeah, down the middle.
Yeah. Our alliance does the same thing, but I've actually kind of switched it up after having some discussions with some people. I don't control our alliance war, but I've made some suggestions. Where it's more matchup dependent. So, my initial was down the middle unless you see an important room. Right. Mm-hmm. 46% said down the middle unless you see an important room. 26 people just said down the middle. Actually, wait, really? They used the same color. They did. 7 people said down the left, 6 or down the left until you see an important room, then across. 6 said down the left. 1 said free for all. 1 said unsure. 1 said find the bridge. 1 said matchup dependent. 3 said across then down. 3 said down the right unless you see an important room, and 2 said down the right. So yeah, that question probably wasn't the best one. I probably should have left it off. But live and learn. Let's see. Which room do you have everyone focus when you find it? The armory, the barracks, the bridge, the cargo bay, the engineering, the flight decks, the hangar, the med bay, security, reactor, or none. So when you guys find a room, do you focus down anything?
Yeah, the ones that we focused on first. I'm trying to remember the name of it. I'm actually going to the thing right now, but it's the one that gives the global buffs to the 20% global buffs
To
like all
defenders or
attributes
attackers?
for defenders.
So that's the med bay.
That's right. So that's the one that we go for first if we see it. Like I think it's the highest priority, and it makes going through the 200 and 100 point rooms much easier.
See, now, and we'll get into this a little bit more. I think the armory is more important because that will debuff their attacks. So you're able to perhaps defend a little better. Both have really good value, and I think both are very high important rooms. And I think those two are the two you should, if you find them, get them.
Mm-hmm. All global buff rooms are the most important buff rooms, but the ones that give the 20% to attacking and defending, I feel like are the most important.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So 28 people agreed with Armory. 20 people said the bridge. 18 people said the barracks. 12 people said none. 11 people said the med bay. I really thought the med bay would be higher on that one.
Yeah, me too.
4 said security. 2 said flight deck. 1 engineering, and 1 cargo bay.
No, it's because the barracks is the global 20% for defending.
That's the global 20. Wait, what am I thinking? I'm thinking the health. Does the barracks
give 40% health? I think is what you're thinking of.
Okay.
Yeah, 40% max health.
Okay,
that's why.
That makes sense.
So yeah, barracks for me, and then I'm assuming the other 20% is the armory.
Yeah. So the barracks was 18. Armory was 28 people. The bridge was 20. Medbay was only 11. Yeah. Boy, the bridge gets you a lot of points, but I don't think it's gonna make or break early on. I don't think it's. I mean, if you see it and it opens up, it's not a bad idea. But
I mean, there's times to vary all strategies, but this is just like a
very
general
generic
thing,
right?
And so the way I would prioritize it, and the way we do prioritize it, is we go with the barracks, then the armory, and then we do the med bay. So that typically makes us able to run through the 102 point rooms as quick as possible, because those are always stacked for obvious reasons.
So. Oh yeah. So then our last question that we're going to really discuss, there was one other question, but that was more for us, not for reading on the air. But what room or rooms are the most important to defend? So you've got the armory, the barracks, the bridge, the cargo bay, engineering, flight deck, the hangar, the med bay, security, the reactor room, and there was one more. None, aka who needs defense.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I would say probably the bridge is the one that I always know I'm going to stack. The other ones, like, I mean, the global buff ones too. I don't know. I don't know if I would say which one is 100% more important. I don't know enough. I haven't played enough of it yet to figure that out. But I mean, for sure, it would be the 20% global buff ones, the 20% global buff rooms, and the bridge, and then the 100-point room, which is which one?
The reactor, I believe.
Reactor, yeah. So I haven't played enough to feel comfortable definitively saying which one I find is the most important yet.
Okay,
but
I really am kind of torn on the bridge, because the bridge, though it has the 200 points, doesn't do anything else. Right?
Right. It's a big point room, but yeah.
It is a 200 point room. Right. But you know, for me, I think it's more important to protect like the armory that gives you the attack bonuses. You know, the barracks that gives you the defense bonuses, and the med bay. I think those 3 rooms are probably the most important ones to defend, because they're gonna help you win the fight total.
Yeah, it's just, and that's why I was saying, like, it's a hard thing to say that, because I'm going to always stack all of them. So I think like they're all kind of equally important because I mean the bridge is the 200 pointer, right?
Right.
Yeah. That's worth 4 rooms, 4 regular rooms.
Right,
so
but
it's hard for me to just disregard that as like it's not the most important. I think that it's a very vital room, but I don't know if I would put it above the 20% global buffs for attacking and defending. So that's why I'm saying like those 3, I couldn't really pick a clear winner of which one is more important.
Right, which is why I let people kind of multi-choice here.
Okay, good.
So yeah, this was another one of those multi-selects where you can select one or more. So 60 people, 60 people said the bridge. So it was the highest at 61.9%. Coming in right behind it was the barracks at 55.7%. The med bay was next at 52.6%. So a lot of people going defensive here. They want to defend their defensive more than their attack. Armory did come in next at 47.4%. The reactor was 29.9%. Security was 12.4%. Engineering 8.2%. The flight decks and the hangar came in tied at 7.2%. And the cargo bay was 2.1%. And then 9 people said, "Who needs defense?" So they went the all attacking route. So yeah, that seems to be what people right now are thinking for defending the rooms. Which ones are more important? And then, so our final question was, if you could ask Fox Next one question, what would it be? So that was just kind of a hey, fill out some stuff here. Which is always fun because we get some really good responses here. So, why are you and Dorian fighting? Am I going to cause a divorce? Let's see.
You can keep the kids.
Okay, that's fine. Why the red stars? Why? Let's see. The one we talked about earlier. Can we replace Dorian with Chewie for future podcasts? No, because it's my podcast. Well, mine in Hebrews, it's the Ravager Report. It's me in Hebrew. So no, we're not replacing either one of us. Let's see. And why do you hate us all? Fox Next. Fox Next. I know you listen to this podcast. At least you used to. You probably stopped. But, why do you hate us, Fox Next? Can you answer that one? Maybe that'll be a next interview question. Why do you hate us?
Yeah, I agree.
So that was our episode 28 poll. Thank you to everybody who participated. We really appreciate it. We're trying to get better with those every week. So it is something that we're continuing to grow and learn and try to ask questions on. I don't know if we're going to do it for a full week simply because right after we read the poll, it's kind of hard to create a new one because the dev blogs really don't have a whole lot in them, but at least they haven't been recently. So trying to come up with something. May start going more character specific, start asking about character releases and stuff.
Yeah,
that could work. Anyway, if you have ideas or suggestions, feel free to come join our Discord server again. It's discord.me/Ravager Report, and give us your comments and feedback. If you really want us to listen to you, and take to heart what you say, you can join our Patreons at patreon.com/Ravager Report.
Smooth.
Okay. Yeah, you're welcome. So now we're going to jump into our news, our quote unquote news segment. So we did have a dev blog today. It was very light, but it did provide some dates for some events. One thing after the update, a lot of people were wondering is where was the gamma ray? Because guys, gold, please, we need gold. So the gamma raid is coming back on 4/8. I knew they were going to wait till after the Magneto event. They were not going to let you get Juggernaut shards for free for the Magneto event because Fox Next is one of the stingiest companies I've ever seen. So So they will change their cadence to make you spend money. I'm not a fan of that. I think that you need to have a locked cadence, and you need to stick to it. So the money will come. I mean, this game will make money off the IP basically,
right.
But you just quit changing, quit moving the goalposts. It's horrible. There is an Alliance War website. I briefly looked through it. It's linked in the dev blog. It's some tips and tricks. It looked pretty basic, from what I saw. There wasn't anything that I would jump at and go, "Ooh, hey, that's good." It's kind of like a Alliance War 101. So we did have the Miss Marvel event. Anybody that's on our Discord knows that there was a slight hiccup with it at first, for maybe 10 or 15 minutes, where it wasn't showing up, and the campaign energy wasn't there. So, but it did come through finally. So we do have the Miss Marvel event going on right now, and that'll go on until April 8th. So it'll be done by the time this podcast drops, unfortunately. But we will have Bendy Girl and the Witch, which will start on 4/8, and then it'll also run for 3 days. And then we will have another M'Baku Blitz starting on 4/11. Real quick question.
Are you going for him?
I don't push for top 1500. I just don't have the teams or the time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't do that anymore either.
So, but I will tell you that, I've already hit all the milestones and I'm still going. I'm at like 1.3 or 1.4 million right now, because I've been able to put together more teams that can sustain at 8-3.
Mm-hmm.
So, they're actually kind of a surprising team that does really, really well.
Oh God.
So, it shouldn't really be a surprise, but I was kind of surprised.
If you combine Mercenary with AIM, you get a really, really nice team.
No, there's no AIM in this one. It's Captain America, Black Widow, Iron Man, War Machine. Who was my fifth? I almost want to say Vision.
So like an Avengers team?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me change my teams here real quick. Yeah, so it's Vision, War Machine, Iron Man, Black Widow, and Captain America. So putting together kind of an Avenger squad. They actually do really, really well. I want to take Black Widow out at some point and put Captain Marvel in, but I haven't put any work into her yet. I'm just...
Yeah.
I find it kind of funny, for all the build-up they did for the Captain Marvel character, she's not the one people care about.
Yeah, I mean, it was weird that they should have made her. I still don't understand the whole making Shuri a legendary character over Captain Marvel. That was a weird move.
Shuri.
Yeah, Shuri. So yeah, gating it like that kind of makes it just like, all right, this is a very time-based thing, and we're going to have to sludge through it until we get it, which I'm not opposed. Like, I'm glad that they're giving it to us, as opposed to a lot of other characters, we just wouldn't see it. But in order to make her like a good character that's worth something, it's, very much kind of like a Hulk thing, if he were actually good in the first place, where it's just going to take a while to get him there. So
yeah, I have I wouldn't be surprised to see Hulk get a rework in the next month or so.
I think it'll be in the next month or so, but I think it is coming for sure.
Yeah. So, I forgot to mention during the update, I bought my in-game tickets. So.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. So my wife and daughter decided they didn't want to go because they don't like the crowds, right? Which is completely understandable. And not sure they'd be able to sit through a 3+ hour movie.
Right.
So it's just gonna be me and the boys. So I actually got opening day tickets. So we're going at 6:00 on Thursday the 25th.
Very nice.
Yes, I am.
You guys dressing up?
No, not gonna dress up. I will wear a shirt. I will wear a shirt. But you know what? I should do that. I should do Thanos. But
get in one of those Toys R Us fists. the gauntlets. And
Maybe
then
some purple
dress up
body
as
paint.
Thanos.
Yeah.
Yep. Do it big.
I'm not doing
Yeah,
it, but
make 'em-
I will wear my
make 'em
Spider-Man
wear
shirt.
cowboy boots.
I will wear my Spider-Man shirt.
Spider-Man shirt with some cowboy boots. That's how we're doing it.
Well, yeah, I always wear the cowboy boots. Those are my daily shoes. I don't wear anything but those.
That's so weird.
Dude, they're so comfortable. I'm telling you. Oof. You're missing out. Yeah, I'm telling you, there is. Have you ever had a good firm handshake that just felt comfortable?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess. Yeah.
All right. So imagine a good firm handshake around your foot all day, providing support and stability. And they just they're awesome, man. They
Do you work as a part-time salesman at the boot barn?
No. It's boot country, not the boot barn. We don't like the boot barn.
There we go. No boot barn, boot country. Gotcha.
So, now let's get into some Alliance War strategy discussion, shall we?
Yeah.
So, one thing I want to talk about, it's actually third on the list, but I'm going to move it up to the top because there's been a little bit of controversy around this one. Quitting a battle.
Mm-hmm.
So they allow you to quit a battle, and when you quit the battle, you get your team back.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? How do you feel about getting a team back if you quit a battle?
I mean, it's an exploit. It's not good. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. We all do it for Blitz, but that's not like we're playing against other people. You know what I mean? Like, it isn't. Like, it's an indirect playing against other people, but whenever you play against people on this mode, you're directly playing against people, and it's just they need to just not allow that kind of stuff. I'm not sure why they do that.
Okay, so let me counterpoint this, okay? Because I don't have a problem with it. It's actually a viable strategy. So what's the difference between taking in a team of defenders? Let's say you're going in defenders, right? And you're getting your ass kicked.
Yeah.
And you decide to back out and you get your defenders back. But there's no damage to that room. Where's the difference if you just took in a single character?
Well, you just wasted an energy. An energy point. Well,
but there's a strategic reason to do it.
Right. I guess
they lose the boost.
In my mind, right. In my mind, it's just you've committed to trying this room. You just do it. Like, I don't know. I've never even been a huge fan of it on Blitz because I feel like it's just a very obvious exploit.
Well, so in Blitz, it's different because in Blitz, you're trying to not lose the tier, right?
Right.
But in Alliance War, there's a very specific reason to go in and quit a battle. There's a very specific reason. And that is to remove the defensive boosts. Right. So what's the difference between taking
I don't like about it.
But so here's the thing. Energy for fights is finite. It's not like now if this was Galaxy of Heroes where you could go in an unlimited number of times based off the characters of your roster. I would agree with you. It would be very, very bad because you could just take the same team in over and over and over and over and over again. However, because you are limited to a max of 12 attacks per battle,
right? That
energy is extremely valuable. So it's if you see a team, let's say you see a 240k shield team that's been boosted. What's wrong with going in? Where's the difference to me, right? So where's the difference between taking in aim security by herself versus taking in a full team and quitting?
Yeah, I think that it's just like whenever I would go in, right? So if I was going to do that, I would say, all right, I'm going to go ahead and try my guys in this. Oh shit, I'm getting my ass kicked. All right, I'm backing out. And then I lose an energy point, but I still have my team and I'll just go try my team elsewhere. I just don't like the capability of doing that. I think once you decide to attack something, you decide to attack something and that's how you go with it. If you want to take the strategy of, wasting a person and then throwing them in there and wasting the deflects like that, I think that that's okay because you're wasting someone for it. You're actually losing someone along with the energy. It might be a no one that you just keep on the side. I don't really care, but it's still something else that you lose. I just think that being able to like go in and try it and be like, never mind, this guy's fucking me up too much, and then back out of it is just a little meh. Like I already am not a huge fan of it on Blitz. Like I said, for something that's directly PvP, I'm less of a fan of it on. I just feel like it's a little too like cheap.
So
I don't know. It's hard to put into words, but that's probably my best explanation of it. And I think that it's very subjective too. I don't have like I'm not like, oh my God, I can't believe you're doing this. Like, I don't care enough to tell people that at all. It's just for me personally, like if I had to pick one way or the other, I would say I'd rather you plug it.
Yeah, see, I guess maybe for me, so, you know, and I'm sorry, people, I know some people complain, my apologies, but for me, having been a 3-year Galaxy of Heroes veteran and Territory Wars now, having been out for, you know, X amount of time, however long, but about a year or so now, there's a thing in not Territory Battles, but Territory Wars, thing in Territory Wars where if you take a team in, you lose the team immediately, right? So if you quit, you can't use that team again, but you have unlimited attacks.
Right.
We actually tell people to quit a fight if you're losing, because in Galaxy of Heroes, the turn meter persists between fights. So if you force quit, they don't get that turn meter.
Right.
There's another aspect to this here too that is beneficial, especially if you're going up against like a shield team. If you don't play it right, you can wind up going up against, you can go into up against a shield team that could be in the yellow, right? All of them could be below 50% health. And you finish that fight and they're back to 100%.
Yeah.
I would rather my guy quit, blow that energy, and not basically reset the entire team's health.
Right. But once again, I think this is one of those just like fundamental differences, but it's just for me, for that same exact reason, I think that it's unfair that you quit, because it's like, no, sorry, bro. Like you went in, you thought you could do it. Guess what? You're wrong. You can't, and you suffer the consequences because of it.
Yeah,
like,
but
you got to be sure that you can do it.
Yet you lose an energy, which is extremely valuable in this. So for me, it's all about the energy.
Not compared to losing a team, though. And
but why
lose
lose energy and a team?
Because I feel like those are the consequences that they originally intended for.
No, because they let you quit the battle. This is actually programmed. It's actually programmed into the mode. You're not forced quitting. You can go in and quit the battle and get the same results. It's not like Blitz at all. Blitz, you have to close the application.
If that's something that you're right. Yeah, if that's something that they intended, I have not heard of anyone just quitting it like that and it working. Just because I don't think no one that I've talked to has tried it like that. It's always just been force quits. I didn't know that it was working in the same method as Dark Dimension, where you can quit right from the thing.
Yeah,
but if they do that, then yeah, I think that is intended, and I think it's kind of silly, but whatever. If they intended it, then sure. I don't consider it an exploit if it's something that they intended. I thought that this was a force quit scenario.
No. I think people are force quitting because they don't realize that you can just quit.
Right. That's was my intent.
My understanding is that you can just absolutely quit.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Yeah. So people in chat are saying that as well, that you can actually just quit. So yeah, if they do that, then I think that is intended, just like Dark Dimension. And in that case, I think I would prefer it not be like that still, but they wanted it like that at that point. Obviously, it's not an exploit, unlike what I thought. So then, yeah, that's what it is. I still don't agree with it, but yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Reaping says if the node was boosted or remained boosted. I've heard otherwise, that they do lose the boost if you quit. So I've not done it myself personally. I don't know if anybody in our alliance has. I've not seen it, so I'm going off of what I've heard. Because if I want somebody to lose a boost, I'm probably just going to send in my level 1 Green Goblin and just let him get the shit kicked out of him. Because, some people may ult their first turn, and that would be nice. Or I'll send in a really weak team to try to survive to get people to blow ults and blow a boost. Right. So
I think things like that are okay because they're more strategic losses. Like you are purposely playing those. You're purposely sacrificing your pawns, kind of thing. Like right. I find that as a respectable strategy, but allowing the the boost to pop, and then you can quit out of it. If that does work, I find it very annoying.
I can see that. And
so, yeah.
that's one of the beauties about this is that, we all kind of have our different takes and different opinions and the way we look at things. So
I'm gonna have to try that. If anyone can back that up in chat real quick, just before we move on, I just want to mention this. If anyone can back that up in chat real quick on that's what happens if you quit out whenever there's the boost up, let us know what happens just so we know.
Yeah. So what do you want to talk about next? You want to talk about room placement or team compositions?
Dealer's choice.
Okay. Room placement.
Okay.
What do you think some of the best strategies are? I mean, if you think about the rooms, what would you do?
So me personally, I think what I would do is I would probably go ahead and put the barracks and the armory on the bottom left and right. And then I'd probably put the 200 and 100 point on top of them. And then I would go down. That is what I'd do. And then I would just probably put med bay. Where's the adjacent one? I forgot what the name of the adjacent one is.
Security.
Yeah, I'd put security in the middle, obviously. So it covers the most, places. In some cases, I might go ahead and move it to the very bottom. Nah, I'd still probably keep it in the middle. And then I kind of just fill in the rest with what I feel like at the time. But the most important placements are probably those 4 and security. So med bay, I'd probably put somewhere on the just above on the top left or right. So
that's
probably how I'd go about it.
So I've been thinking about this, and for me, it's more about getting people to follow the path I want them to take, right? Mm-hmm. So I want people to think I'm protecting one specific area. So I may put security right under the right or left to make people think that there's something there for it to be boosted, right?
Right.
And then throw some heavy teams, kind of throw some quasi heavy teams above security to make people think that we're trying to intentionally protect that. Right. Mm-hmm. And then kind of put the really important rooms like the armory and the barracks opposite that. Mm-hmm. So that way, if we kind of create an enticing path to make people think that there's something important there to waste resources to try to get to it, and there's nothing, I consider that a win.
Yeah, I think I do a similar thing, but I use that for the characters, not the rooms as much.
Well, so
I'll make. Go ahead.
The thing with the rooms though is you can see the adjacent bonuses, so what rooms are next to what rooms.
Yeah.
So if you go to the flight deck and you click the adjacent button, if there's something there that provides an adjacent bonus, you're going to see that it's engineering or security, right?
Right.
So,
but that's just for the adjacent though. I mean, for they still won't know where my globals are necessarily. Right. Adjacent is pretty much always going to be for security. That's like the big adjacent one, and that one is typically going to be in the middle. You could try to switch it up to be sneaky, but I'm not sure if that would outweigh its benefit of being more in the middle or in the bottom middle, because I think you'd want to try to cover as much area with it as possible. So I know what you're doing, and I think that it's. I should probably preface this beforehand. It's just so early, so
it is very early.
Nothing that I'm doing now I'm considering as this is the best strategy.
Right.
These are just things that we're currently trying, at least for us, and it sounds like you are doing the same. I feel like this strategy, although slightly more obvious, is more reinforced. But I understand if you can bait people, if you're successful with a bait, you might be able to bait them out a little longer. I'm not sure if you're going to gain a lot more, because if they go on the side, if they don't fall for your bait, then you might have just screwed yourself.
Yeah, it's always possible. Apologies, it's not security that we care about, it's engineering. Engineering applies defense up to defending allies. Security does provide adjacent bonuses, but that adjacent bonus for is defense down to attacking enemies. So they're both valuable, right? It all depends on what type of strategy you want to take, though. You know, are you going to put in teams that hit hard on defense next to security versus your super tanky tanks next to engineering to get the defense up bonus?
Yeah, I mean, for this, I would definitely do I was more talking about for the defending.
So
want
for
to find
the
a good
engineering
placement
next
for
to
the
that.
engineering. Yeah, I would want to put my engineering in the spot where particularly helps out my defending team. It's so much easier just to call it. I call it by buffs, not by room names. So I'm having to go back now and check the room names of them to make sure I'm calling the right things. So yeah, I mean, both of them I would want to put in proper positions, but yeah, I think that for me the defense up is probably the more important one. That way I keep my resistance high.
Yeah, I would agree.
But
with
I mean,
that.
both are valid to use for sure.
Yep, both
But I
are
would
valid, and I think they can provide enough of an enticement to maybe track people into going one path versus another.
Yeah,
especially security. I think security can be the one to get people to think you're trying to protect something further down. Engineering is the one I would probably put in the middle.
Yeah, it's just our strategies are different in the way that mine's more obvious, but it's just more generally reinforced. So you have to just basically power through the bricks that I've laid. Your strategy is very look at this hand while I'm doing something with the other. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So both are respectable strategies for sure.
Oh, absolutely, and that's the beauty.
Both
of
have
this.
Their strengths, both have their weaknesses. Yeah,
and that is one of the beauties of Alliance Wars is the fact that you can move the rooms around, and you can create different paths, and you can create different enticements, and you can create different brick walls. And no two alliances. That's one thing that people that are super frustrated with in Galaxy of Heroes with territory wars, and that's the fact that everybody's building the same walls, right? So you got Revan up front, you got Traya right behind, followed by CLS and Bosk, and it's horrible. It's almost the same game every time. With Alliance Wars, though, it does switch up, and it'll be a different fight, and that is more fun for me. Now, I'm not an officer, so I don't have to make the decisions of telling people where to go or what to do. But sorry, I'm getting Discord alerts because we got the war going on right now.
It's okay.
So, I do love the fact that this is so much more open to customization, and it makes it different, and it is more of a chess match than just a brute force approach.
Yeah, I agree. I think that there's definitely a lot more strategy involved in it, and I appreciate that. That's one of the aspects of it that I like, as opposed to some of the ones that I am not a fan of. So, yeah. It makes it a little more interesting to go through. It's not just, there's one thing that this game is bad about, and that's you get the same thing basically reskinned every single time, and this time you can actually be surprised by things. So,
yeah. So I think we've talked quite a bit about early room placement, right? Like you said, the game mode's just a week old. So, strategies are still being figured out and everything. So, team compositions. What do you like to do for team comps? So let's pick this week. Let's do offense. So what do you like to do? Do you do anything special for offensive team comps? Or I take, you know what? Unless you're gonna make a dealer's choice again. Do you want to talk defense first, or do you want to talk offense first?
Let's talk defense first.
Okay. So defense, how do you, what type of team comps do you put on defense?
I put the ones that perform very well on their own. So like shields are good examples of ones that do well on their own. So I let them kind of hang there. Ones that in order to really operate efficiently, I go ahead and take over. Guardians is another one that operates well alone. Any kind of team that has full synergy operates fairly well alone, I'd say. But the ones that need a little more finesse, I tend to take. Yeah, and should we talk about placement or no? Like order?
We can, because I mean that's also part of the strategy, right? Do you front load your defensive teams, or do you back load them? Do you try to trick people and hope they waste resources, right? I know one thing that I try to do is I'll take one or two, semi-powerful characters, 20, 30K or so, and throw those in with, a couple of the generic shield guards.
Right.
Hoping people, will bring in some underpowered, trying to clear the shield, not realizing, oh my goodness, that's a 50K Wolverine with that team.
Yeah, as far as I think you can get really sneaky with the order specifically, more so than probably almost anything else, because you could really surprise someone really quick. You can, even if you could front load it and just posture and make it look like this is stacked by having some, like two really big boy teams in the front, like showing, right. And they're like, I am not going to touch that team, and then right under it, it's just absolutely nothing. It's paper. Or you can have it just showing, two teams. So they start digging into it, and then they've wasted 4 teams. And then all of a sudden they realize, 2 teams in, they see that your team is actually stacked right behind it. And they've already wasted 4 teams to try to go through it. So yeah, you can get really sneaky with it. I haven't figured out the best scenario for that yet, like the best situation on stacking order, but I have a feeling that's going to be like an interesting little mind game to play with people more so than anything else.
Oh, I agree 100%. And I think that's one of the things that I've been working on with the whole trying to create a basically quote unquote trap, to get people to expend resources to follow a path.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's how I use that same strategy.
Since you only have to beat one room to go vertical, or you only have to beat one player to go vertically, but you have to beat both to go horizontally.
Right.
It makes it a little bit enticing. To try to get people to follow kind of weird paths that can blow up in their face, and that's fun for me. But I like taking in that's the question. Do you prefer Shield, Brotherhood, Defenders on defense or offense, or does it depend upon the player?
I mean, it's more of something that I'm trying out right now. I'm seeing the problem is that right now it varies so much on who I'm facing. Like, it's either a team that I get crushed by, or we get crushed by, or a team that we roll. And so it's hard to say which one does better, but I feel more comfortable leaving teams that operate very well on their own. Far more so than teams that if I just threw together a ragtag team and try to make it work, or a team with only, like 2 or 3 people that have synergy, it's just not going to operate as well operated by the AI versus me.
Right.
So yeah, it's just, I'll typically try to hang on to them. I'll leave them on defense, the ones that work very well, and then I'll try to handle the teams that don't have as much synergy. So
have
defenders?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say defenders. I have not tried on defense. Actually, I've kept them on offense, but apparently defenders do well on this with whatever on defense. So that's what
especially with the boost.
Just said. So yeah, the boosts. Honestly, I wish that the boosts weren't in the game. I think that they're broken.
I think it makes an interesting challenge. I think what makes it quote unquote broken is when you have red stars involved as well. I think that's really what breaks it more than anything else.
I mean, red stars are super broken. Don't get me wrong. That's, going to be broken no matter where it is in the game. But I just think that boosts are super frustrating. And if they just took that part out of the game, then everything would be a lot nicer because you have people that are blocking blocking boosts by sitting in the room lobbies, which is very frustrating.
That is
same time, yeah, and then you at the same time have someone sitting there waiting for you to hop out and then boost, and it's really frustrating to just sit there and watch that happen, especially whenever you're in the higher end and they have teams that are incredibly hard to go through. So like those shield teams that you're having to throw 2-3 teams at, and every single time they're throwing back on a boost, it's really annoying. I'm not a fan.
No, I don't like that. I don't like the blocking boost.
I just feel like you gain, like, they should just take it out, and I think it would honestly be a better mode, because that's just more of a frustrating thing that really just involves you have to be on at the right time, more so than strategy. So I'm not a particular fan of that, because that's like I have an advantage because you're at work and I'm not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is a valid point. We have found that early attackers, like being on when the mode opens up, is the most beneficial, because you can get down, and if the other team's not on, at the right times, they're hosed, because you can drill down and knock out, really important teams for them before they get a chance to do anything.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's absolutely, I don't know. I hate to use the word ridiculous, but it's just more of the why I like the ability to have unlimited energy and unlimited attacks. So, have you seen, speaking of things like Shield and Brotherhood on defense, have you seen this new meta Arena Killer?
What is it?
There's a team that it's absolutely insane. It is Star-Lord and Rocket, Vision, Minerva, and typically Groot.
I've not seen it yet. I've not been up against it.
So it's not a defensive team. I don't know how well it will hold on defense. It's an offensive team. It is absolutely insane. So, like I just did an arena fight, right? My squad of what I just mentioned. So Star-Lord, Rocket, Groot, Minerva, and Vision. My team is only around 160k, maybe 170. I just took out like a 210k shield team.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that's good. Yeah, I'm gonna have to try that.
Yeah, you have to have Vision.
Oh yeah, shit, that's right. Can't do it.
You might be able to do it without Vision. I'm not sure who else you would throw into that team comp. But that team is crazy. And it's honestly, it's all because of Minerva.
Yeah, Minerva is super strong. If you get her up, she's really fucking strong.
She is really, really good. And Groot's really important to that too, because Groot gives bonuses when he dies.
Yeah.
But Minerva's special will bring him right back if he doesn't self-revive.
Yep.
And it's just...
Yeah, I've heard of using Groot a lot with Minerva for that exact reason.
Yeah, because the more he dies, the more she heals.
Yeah.
And he taunts, right? So he taunts on Rocket's special, so he gets an early taunt. You got to be strategic about it. It's not something you just go in and auto, but it's fun. It actually, like I said, this past week has really kind of reinvigorated this game for me. Having unlocked Magneto and having an actual, Brotherhood team that I can use. And then seeing different comps, in the meta, especially on attack,
right.
Because man, you get tired of nothing but Defenders and Shield and Brotherhood.
I agree with that. Yeah.
You know, that's all anybody uses on defense, and it's so boring. They've got to do something to shift up this meta.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Sorry, a little bit of a arena segue there. Out of the Alliance War strategy discussion. I will tell you one team that I found to be crazy good on defense was that Blitz team I mentioned earlier with Cap, Black Widow, Iron Man, Vision, and War Machine.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't know if maybe they underestimated what that team could do or not, but they survived. They had like 5 or 6, maybe it wasn't that many. They had multiple defenses. Let's just say they had multiple defenses. So that was because the really nice thing is if they don't kill Iron Man or War Machine, Vision gives them death, or they get death proof every time.
Right.
So, was there anything else that you wanted to talk about this week for Alliance War strategy?
No, I think that, I mean, I'm sure that we'll probably revisit it, but I think for right now, that's pretty much it. It's still very early, so this is, just things we're really trying and experimenting with right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I will say, don't be afraid to try weird things on defense. Like, I know I've mentioned it a couple of times now. I put my aim team on defense, right? Because people they don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
You want to make your opponent think, and you want them to overthink it. So,
yeah, I agree.
That's the best piece of advice as I can give you is try to make it so that people overthink it. Drop a 6 red star Hydra sniper with shield security and watch people drop like flies. So, was there anything else about the news this week that you wanted to talk about?
No, I think that pretty much covers it for me. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're not running super long, but I think that's about all we've got this week. But before we head out, Heber, why don't you let people know who you're farming?
So, currently I am farming up. I'm really trying to farm uniques for Nick Fury, of course, but those come around not very often at all, and it's very frustrating. But other than that, I'm still kind of working on my Brotherhood team, trying to bring them up the rest of the way. My Kree team and my Shield team are both super strong, so yeah, it's just my Brotherhood team that I'm trying to bring up. They're at like 170, I think, right now, and I want to get them up more towards like 200K at least or so. But yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing. What about you?
Oh, you got me drinking. Have a sip of water. So I have actually kind of shifted off of Shield as my primary focus, because I did get Magneto, and Brotherhood's just a better arena team. So, Brotherhood's kind of where I've been focused this week. I did get Magneto up to like 65, max abilities. I'm working on Juggernaut now, and then I'm going to work down the line, get Pyro and Sabretooth up. So I'm doing a tiered system where I'm doing like, I get Jugs to 50, then I get Pyro to 50, like Jugs to 50 tier 8, and I get Pyro to 50 tier 8, then I'm going to get Sabretooth to 50 tier 8. So, that's kind of, what I've been working on, and just a lot of gold focus, just doing the gold farming. So, and ABCs again, gearing up these 3 characters has depleted my ABC stockpile. So I'm back on the ABC hunt, which is absolutely horrible. So,
yeah, I feel you.
Yeah. So that's pretty much what I've been doing. So, yeah, that's it, man. I think we're going to wrap it up for this week. Is there anything you wanted to say to our lovely studio audience and those listening out in podcast land before we head out?
No, that's pretty much it for this week. Just, thanks everyone for stopping by. We always really appreciate it. And, yeah, I'll see you guys next week.
All right. Well, we do want to thank you for listening to the Ravager Report. If you'd like to become a part of our active and interactive community, you can do so at our Discord channel at discord.me/Ravager Report. Please remember, that is a URL, not a Discord invite. If you'd like to send us an email, you can email us at theravagerreport@gmail.com or find us on Twitter at RavagerRepo. If you like what you hear and would like to help support our show, you can join our patrons at patreon.com/Ravager Report, where we have subscription levels ranging from $2 to $20. We do want to send a great big thank you to all of our patrons, both new and old, and let you know that we greatly appreciate your support. And until next week, keep fighting, true believers.